Catherine from Optimal Health Coaching, and this video today is on lifting. I've had a lot of people tell me recently that they're doing some lifting at home, they're doing some lifting at work, and some injuries are happening. So I just wanted to very briefly show you some very basic things to think about when lifting. First thing is, I see in the gym some lifting that happens like this. First of all, there's no bend in the knees, and people are coming into these lifts with this round back position. Definitely, over time, we'll end up with an injury, if not get one right away while you're lifting. If you do want to deadlift in the gym, this is the piece of equipment that I'm going to suggest, and I'll just quickly show you what a deadlift in the gym would look like. Okay, so lots of things happening there, lots of different muscles being used. But the problem is, sure, I can teach you how to deadlift like this in the gym, and some of it will carry over to everyday life, but how often do you come up to a long bar on the ground and you end up having to lift that, right? It's not as practical. So there's other ways to learn how to lift. Once you understand the basic deadlift premises, which I went into in my last video about some of the 5 big compound lifts, then it becomes a little bit easier. So what I mean by that is, say for example, this is your briefcase. So in order to lift the briefcase, I want you to stand right beside your briefcase, feet hip width apart, everything's pointed forward. The first thing you do when you lift is push the bum back, hinge at the hips, and then slowly start to bend the knee. You'd reach down, grab onto the suitcase, and most importantly, I want you to stay active through the lats and through the tummy. So this is what I find most challenging for some people to do, is to get strong through the back before you've lifted. For example, we're down like this, everything's faced forward, I get strong through the back, and I drive up. Incorrectly would be if you didn't get strong through the back. So now you've got this loose, lax shoulder, and you go to lift, rather than lifting from your hips coming forward, you're actually lifting from pulling your shoulder. And you'll definitely end up with some kind of tear or injury over time. So after we've hinged the hips back, bent at the knees, I want you to make sure you're strong through the back, strong through the tummy as you drive the hips forward. So as you can see, a really complicated movement we're talking about here, how to deadlift, how to pick things up properly, but think about how much it comes up in everyday life. I just grabbed this ball as another example of something you might come across. Say you're out gardening, you have this big planter to pick up. Same thing, you get nice and close to it, you hinge the hips back, bend at the knees, grab on, tight back, tight tummy, and lift, okay? And then slow to bring that back down, keeping the core engaged as you let the item back to the floor. So, moral of the story, don't just go out and lift things in your yard or at your work without actually knowing what you're doing. Low back, shoulder injuries are all preventable if you know how to do these things properly. So, yeah, you should learn. Again, my name is Catherine at optimalhealthcoaching.com. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.